Hey guys, and welcome to another one of my Gozyuger episode commentary and reviews. This time, episode 14, The Sacred Servant, The Legend of TegaSword. And please remember, if you do like what you see, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button. It means a lot for a small channel like mine. Anyway, let's get into the episode. So as the episode opens, the Gozyugers have just gotten back to the TegaSword Village cafe. As Kinjiro thanks the cafe owner for covering for him, she says never mind that and points out the TV where the berserk red racer is causing havoc. All of a sudden, the owner stops cleaning the tables and starts talking with the voice of TegaSword, saying that this has never happened before, with the ring going berserk. And as the kid's like, what the hell's going on, Mum? And Ryuji's like, it's the voice of the TegaSword. The kid's just like, wow, this is really cool. And as the mum snaps out of it, he's like, Mum, do it again. She's like, what? Do what? Go do your homework again. As Ryuji looks at the model of the TegaSword on the altar. And we go to opening credits. So after the credits, Ikuro's asking Ryuji what actually is his relationship with this woman. And he says, you know, back at home, my family, literally, they only see me as the heir. And he feels like nothing more than a doll at the house. But he then says he found light when he found the book about Lord TegaSword. And it's why he will offer everything he is to Lord TegaSword. And as the other rangers sort of let it sink in, Samino sort of suddenly realises and gets up. She's like, wait, you're rich? You're rich? She's like, this is late, but, you know, here's my business card, you know. And she's like, even batting her eyelids at him. Until Rikuo, with his advanced hearing, says, you know, she's coming this way. And Ryuji says, you know, I didn't think I'd evade her for long, so I'm going to go handle this. And he leaves. Out on the streets, Berserk Red Race is shouting for young Master to get out here. And when he announces himself, she says, right, found you. Now give me that dangerous ring. And as Ryuji's about to transform, Hirero says that's not going to happen, as the Gozyugers join Ryuji. But with a crowd gathering, Kinjiro says we can't fight here, we need to get her somewhere else. And Ryuji says, understood, before leading them on a run. With Berserk Red Racer launching nails from her bat at them. And Samino says, who wouldn't run when you're shooting that stuff at us? Next, they see a banana peel in the road. And jumping up saying, banana peels are dangerous, she slams her bat into it. With Rikuo saying, I'd rather slip on that than deal with you. As they're still running away, there's a cyclist coming down past them. And she literally kicks the cyclist off his bike, saying that it's dangerous to ride past the young master. Before taking the bike, putting her bat in it, and weaving around everywhere as she tries to ride after the Gozyugers, as they continue running away. Elsewhere, Mr. Shining Knife, Mrs. Sweet Cake are sat on the steps, and she's sulking because she's so disappointed that he lost the ring that they'd gotten. And she's kind of fantasizing about Garyudo, comparing him to a prince. At which point, he grabs Shining Knife's face, saying he couldn't bear to see Miss Sweetcake's beautiful face scarred, flirting with her, as Mr. Shining Knife really doesn't appreciate it. A spy candle appears to be behind them, saying, can we stop this now? And telling them to come on, because they got work to do. As the Gozyugers have arrived in a empty quarry area, Berserk Car Racer has caught up with them, saying there's nowhere left to run. Nino questions if there's any way they can beat her. But when Ryuji says that he doesn't know of any weaknesses, Hirero calls him useless. And as a mental health warning, Car Ranger freezes the 4 Gozyugers because it's not nice to insult a friend. Only now the stoppage is powered up and they'll be frozen there forever. Ryuji steps forward saying, "Shoko, you're making me angry," which starts to break the spell a little bit. As she flashes back to a time when she and Ryuji were children, and she's crying in her maid's outfit. And when he asked what's wrong, she said she broke a plate and the master was mad at her. And the young Ryuji made her a crown out of flowers to cheer her up, telling him that back then he made her world feel safe. And now it's what she's trying to do for him, slamming her back into the ground. But Ryuji is unmoved and says, "We both cried a lot back then. But things are different now. And finding Lord TegaSword has made him strong." And he goes back and forth between them for a while, until he says he will prove to her, and transforms. And with that, we get the announcer and the cheerleaders, with Berserk Car Ranger saying she's going to protect the young master, and Goju Torano saying he will give everything he has to Lord TegaSword. And the fight begins, with Goju Torano using his Torano hammer and Berserk Car Ranger using her nailed bat. The pair fight. Ryuji questions whether there's even anyone she truly believes in. She deflects the question, saying she just wants him to be safe. As she raises the bat above her head and it grows to a huge size, which she swings down. But Ryuji prays to Lord TegaSword for his strength, and swinging his Torano hammer up, smashes the nailed bat. Before he then places his hand on her stomach, and the miasma surrounding her is blown away before she powers down and is left in her maid uniform. And the others are free from their dock. But as Herrera says that should do, the 3 No.1s appear, with Gary Udo saying, "Starting now, all your rings are my prey," impressing Mrs. Sweetcake some more, much to Mr. Shining Knight's annoyance, and Fire Candle saying he's not going to let Gary Udo hog the spotlight. As Ryuji tells Shoko to run, she says he has to go with her, but he says he doesn't need to, because the power of the other Gozyugers is something else he has faith in, as they engage and transform. With Herrero saying, "Starting now, all of you are my prey." As Goryudo summons Live Man and Hurricaneja to help him in the fight. As Fire Candle and the 2 summons Sentai Rangers charge in with Goryudo, Mr. Shining Knife and Sweetcake stand back to watch, with Sweetcake cheering on Goryudo. Candle starts fighting Herrero, and Goryudo says he wants to fight Herrero himself. But Kinjo and Samino say they want in on it, with Samino using her new Sentai ring and using the powers of Ginga Man. Kinjo fights with his arrow, and Samino comes in with her sword, also summoning her unicorn drill, combining the power to make a blazing drill main attack that, although Goryudo manages to miss some, still gets hit by one of the blasts, until he grabs the Live Man, using it as a shield, shocking Miss Sweetcake. As Goryudo says he's bored and she can take it from here, princess, he actually hides behind Shining Knife and Mrs. Sweetcake as Goju Leon fires some blasts from his weapon before Goryudo retreats. As Sweetcake quite quickly loses her infatuation for him, she apologises to Mr. Shining Knife, and he declares himself lovey-dovey winner, as Shining Knife and Sweetcake use the power of love to grow. And Fire Candle beats a hasty retreat, as the maid once again tells Ryuji that it's too dangerous he summons Lord TegaSword, and appearing inside it, he's taken the maid with him into TegaSword Yellow. She asks where they are, but Ryuji just says, just watch, because my faith in Lord TegaSword is stronger than anything. As the two titans begin to fight, it seems Ryuji has the upper hand. But Shining Knife and Sweet Cake say love can make anything possible, and they grow giant. As they say love can even crush people, as they try to stamp TegaSword into nothing. As Ryuji shouts out, "Believe in me!" and Shoka has a flashback to all the times that she's been with her young master, shouting that he can do it, as there's a light in front of them. And Lord TegaSword asked Ryuji to let them fight together. With Ryuji overwhelmed that Lord TegaSword has said his name, declares himself an eternal follower, and TegaSword Yellow is able to push away the foot that's stepping on it before launching itself up and attacking with Tyranno Hana Crush, literally putting a hole through the giant Shining Knife and Mrs. Sweetcake, whose last words are, "This isn't over." And as Ryuji calls himself the faithful-hearted No.1, we get winner Bakigami Ryuji. Later, as the Rangers are following Shoko along the path, she stops and turns around saying, "I can see you don't need protecting anymore." And stepping close, she hands him her ring. And as she closes his hand over the ring, she says that she will try to have more faith in him. And she'll explain to his dad, as he thanks her and wishes her well, before bowing to him and walking away. Later at TegaSword Village Cafe, Ryuji's kind of going a little bit over the top on decorating the TegaSword's altar, as the other Gozyugers say that his faith is at an all-time high, but he really needs some better taste. And as Ryuji turns to the altar and says, "How do you like what I've done to your altar, Lord TegaSword?" the model Herb TegaSword Red comes to life, and he sort of looks around, sounding a little hesitant, and says, "It looks good, No.1. Which causes Ryuji to be even happier with his praise, as Herrero points out that even TegaSword tells little white lies. And the episode ends. Okay, so this episode, it's another time when we've had a direct continuation from the episode before. I enjoyed it. Obviously, I was always a Car Ranger fan. You can see the mecha just behind me there. Like I said last time, I think the whole Berserk Car Ranger thing is sort of a nod to the Zanyak, like the biker gang sort of attitude that she has. Garyudo, I'm starting to get a little bit confused about what's going on with him. He keeps turning up with new rings that we haven't seen before, which means that's more Rangers that we're not seeing fights. I mean, I suppose you've got the argument of we're already 14 episodes in, unless they were literally doing one episode per Ranger, per ring, then, you know, you can't really, like, do it like that. But these rings, obviously I don't have any of the actual Sentai rings, I just have the Wolf ring. But these rings are the key point of the show. And so many of these are being obtained off screen. Obviously, at some point, everything that Garyudo's gone off and collected that we haven't seen, they're going to have to beat and get off of him. And I presume we're then going to have the Gozyugers either fight to share their rings. This ring is far too tight. I did try stretching the other large ring out, but it started splitting on the inside. Like, I really dislike the fact that these rings are so damn small. But yeah, unless like they decide they're going to have like a wish for the 5 of them, then you know we're going to have them fight, or maybe they'll be beaten by Garyudo, and then Herero's going to beat Garyudo at the end, or Queen Taega-jun, or whoever the final boss ends up being. But I mean, we're a long way from that. I mean, we're not even like halfway through. I mean, we're episode 14, so we're still like a couple of months away from even the halfway point. So, but yeah, it is still a little bit up, and so many of these rings are suddenly appearing off screen. And it's like, hey, Garyudo's got these, and Shining Knight Sweetcake's got that one. And it's like, I want to see these other Rangers. And of course, it's no secret now. We're getting, I think it's Goju Polar. Because there's been pictures going around on, I saw it on Reddit this morning actually. I mean, I try not to find spoilers, so spoiler alert, skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to know from now. We're getting Goju Polar, who's going to be the new White Ranger. Which I don't like spoilers, but you know, I've already seen it. It looks okay. You know, a bit of a bare face going on, but yeah. Anyway, waiting for the 30 seconds to be up, which is about now. So yeah, if you're avoiding spoilers, we're spoiler free now. We're all good. Come back, baby, come back. So I had that song stuck in my head all day because I heard it once yesterday for about 10 seconds. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's kind of weird that Garyudo was flirting like he was with Mrs. Sweetcake. I'm guessing Mr. Shining Knife can't really do anything without her being involved in it. But it still just seems a bit strange, I guess. I don't know how it works for those two. I don't think it's the first time in Sentai. I swear I've seen another season. And let me know in the comments if you can remember which one it is that I'm thinking of. But I swear there's been another season where we've had like a two-headed, two-personalitied monster as part of the main like enemy before. Part of me's thinking Kyoryuja, the yeah, there. That lot. I think it was that lot that had the enemy with the two heads. I can't swear I've seen it somewhere before. But there's so many that I've watched now. Like I've seen all of these seasons like behind me, and more that I can't even get hold of like the mecha for. Not that I've actually got much space left, because this is most of the space I've got. If I squeeze this lot together, I might be able to fit Boom Boomer in, which I want. Although I'll have to get rid of the extra bits off of that, off of King Oja. Yeah, I enjoyed this episode. But yeah, I try and remember like where the two-headed like monster comes from, but that I'm thinking of. Unless I'm completely mistaken, but I don't think I am, but it's been known. It's been known. I think this is the first ring we've seen Ryuji get. And we've now got quite a bit of backstory for him. So, you know, he obviously was unhappy as a kid. He just feels that, you know, as the heir to the family name, his parents don't care other than the fact that he's theirs to do with as they want. Um, didn't really get so much from the other Gozyugers this week or last week. I mean, last week, Blue and Black barely appeared. And I suppose they kind of had a little bit more to do this week to try and make up for it, I guess. Um, Herrero really didn't get much this week when he had a little bit more last week. So I guess they're trying to balance it out a little bit, which is nice. We're not getting the sort of like thing that would happen with Power Rangers, for example, back in the day, where it became the Tommy show. You know, everything had to be about one Ranger. So it's nice that even though some episodes are focused on one character, you've still got one or two of the other Rangers that, again, just a little bit more to do. And then the other two are just sort of off somewhere until they're needed for the fight. I can live with that. It's a good mix. And then when they've got these two parts, they just sort of swap the roles and give the another two like a chance. Just have a few extra lines. I like that. Not really much else to say. I mean, that's Live Man and Hurricaneger as part of Gary Udo's now, which goes with the others he's got. I hope we get something a bit more from him because he came in as like this big explosive entrance, well, supposedly killing the guy who was doing the Tyranno Ranger. Obviously, we found out that he wasn't actually dead, but it was still a hell of a shock at the end of that episode. He comes in, big blight boom, and then he sort of just drifted away a little bit. So I'm hoping we pull back a bit and get some more on him now that we've got more backstory for the others. I think now it's sort of swapped from Ryuji having the least backstory to Rikuo. Because now we know that he was an idol and something happens. And people are calling him a washed up idol and that, I think. But we don't know what happens. But we don't know what happens. We now know quite a bit about Ryuji, but we don't know Rikuo. So hopefully that's going to change. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Like I said earlier, it does mean a lot. I will be back next week with more Gozyuger. We've still got, I think, 5 Zyuranger videos to go. And then that season will be finished. I will probably take a couple of weeks break for getting the next season that I'm doing ready. Again, I still can't decide if I'm going to do Gokaiger or Ranger. I'm going to include them in my 50th anniversary videos, so I can at least see like how tight YouTube and TOEI are going to be on the copyright stuff, whether I've got to do it in this format or the format I've been using for Ranger. As Fan Home is sending me packages, I will be doing more of the Megazord build videos. If you haven't seen them, I recommend you check them out. This thing is getting big. And also, I've just been to a toy fair today, and I picked up an HG Universal Century RX-78-2 Gundam EFSF prototype close combat mobile suit. It is my first Gunpla. I will probably do a video on it, putting together my first Gunpla, and I'm looking forward to it to the extent where I'm thinking, if I like this, I'm going to do more Gunpla videos, get some HGs, then maybe settle on the MGs from the looks of it. Probably be just about in my price range. So, more content, more Japanese stuff. I have seen some Gundam. I've seen Gundam Origins, I think it was, or something. I know it's like one of the older series. Really enjoyed it. So looking forward to building that. Not a clue where I'm going to put it, but I'm going to enjoy building it. And I'll see you guys next time. Remember, number 1.